Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, where we talk all things health, fitness, and lifestyle. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back. I'm your host, Gabby Mazar, and on today's show, I have Joe Khechef. He's the founder and owner of Thrive Studio Training. He's an accomplished executive and professional athlete with extensive expertise in health and wellness and fitness and nutrition as well. And he has battled with mental health, depression, and bipolar disorder, and has transformed his life through holistic health and wellness and fitness. So welcome to the show today, Joe.
Thank you very much for having me, Gabby.
Yeah, so why don't we get started by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and how you got into the wellness industry and opening up your own studio training.
Perfect. So I'll make this quick. So my name is Joel Khechef. I was born and raised in Beirut, Lebanon. Over there, there's not a lot of emphasis on fitness and sports. The mentality is mainly go to the best school you can, then to the best university and get the highest position at the biggest company that you can. That's the mentality of every family in Lebanon. So sports were not very much encouraged. So I followed the corporate path and I took on the sports as a side hobby instead of doing it full time. However, after that, I moved to Dubai, where I started competing professionally alongside my corporate career, and I loved it more and more. Few years later, fast forward to 2019, I moved to California for another corporate job at a large manufacturing facility. It was very demanding, so I stopped exercising completely. My nutrition habits went really bad. So this is where I ended up with a bit of physical health complications, mental health complications. Before going the traditional medicine route and taking the medicine I was prescribed both for my health and for my physical and my mental health, I decided to go to a wellness retreat first for a week and try to understand what's happening. So I went to a wellness retreat in Southern California, where there was hours and hours of mindfulness, breath work, workouts, hikes, proper foods, and it reminded me how much I love this, and it reminded me of how good can one feel when they live healthy. So when I came out of the retreat, and it coincided with the same time that I found out that my wife was pregnant with our first child. So this is where I decided to leave my corporate career behind in just a switch, and I started from the bottom as a personal trainer, going to people's houses. Fast forward 2 years later, business grew, things went well, people are loving the sessions, the style of training. So I went ahead and opened my private training gym earlier this year.
Well,
And that's how
congratulations.
I got here. Thank you.
That's a big, it's big. It's a big step for sure, opening up your own place. I know all too
Yeah,
well.
leaving the comfort of the salary and corporate to going to the unknown is hard, but it's very hard, very demanding, but very rewarding at the same time. But
hmm
definitely hard and scary at first.
Rewarding, fulfilling, yeah, all of those things. Can you explain the benefits of your holistic approach to health and fitness and why it differs from other traditional methods? I know I have a very holistic approach to fitness as well, but explain what that means to you and how it differs.
Of course. So there's the basics. I'm sure we all know them, but there's 2 points that I usually stress and why it's different and how I look at fitness. First of all, it's the intertwining of fitness and mindset. I believe myself that if you're able to do hard things in the gym, if you're able to push your limits in training, if you're able to teach yourself to show up when you don't feel like it, if you're able to teach yourself to go to the gym and do things that you did not feel possible, just cultivating this mindset of discipline, of hard work, of consistency. It's not only useful for the gym, this translates very much in other areas, in professional areas, in personal areas of your life. So I see the workout at the gym more, first of all, more than just training for a bicep to look good or to fit in a dress. You're training to become stronger and fitter physically and mentally. When you can really again push yourself at the gym, it puts you in a better situation to take on any other challenge that life throws at you. Plus the discipline. that working out and getting to a certain level teaches you. It's discipline that can make you successful in any other area. So that's one point of differentiation. The other point is I place a huge emphasis on functional fitness. Now, if you want to train just bodybuild to look good, or if you want to train to be functionally strong, it's going to take you the same time. But one of them, you just look good. You don't really move well. You don't really feel well. You're not really as healthy. But one and the other, you look good, but then every task in the day-to-day life becomes easier. Playing with your kids becomes easier. Going upstairs becomes easier. Carrying groceries becomes easier. So there's this aspect of functional strength that when people discover it and see that it's not only I'm chasing a six pack, I'm chasing a big chest. When they see, first of all, the immediate impacts when you go into functional strength that it has in your day-to-day life, and then once they realize how training functional fitness, how it's going to help you on the long run, how it's going to help you live much longer, live much better, be more independent, be freer, be disease free. So once people start to understand these things, then the why do you train becomes much more impactful, and it makes people stick to working out much longer. When your why is just I want to fit in this dress, the first difficulty, the first challenge, you're going to drop your program, you're going to drop your nutrition, you're going to give up. But once your why is a bit more noble, is just to be free, to live, not only to live uh, till you're 90, 100, 110, but to live well and independently at that age, to be able to play with your grandkids, to be able to travel. Once you tap into all of this, your why becomes much more noble, and it makes the journey easier. It makes you stick better to your program. It makes you enjoy it better, and it just gives a meaning for all the time spent in the gym and all the effort put.
Yeah, you're committed to it. You're committed to that goal because you feel better. You feel better, your life has more meaning, your mental health is better, you're all around you're just feeling better and moving better, living better, and it creates that consistency in your life, that piece that you were missing to help you live a better life every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what are some practical tips that you help your clients with to help them balance their lives and fitness demands of their everyday?
One tip to balance is, first of all, you don't. The first tip I give is there's no one size fits all when it comes to fitness. So I work with a lot of professionals that go on social media or have friends that train 6 days a week. So when I speak to them, they're like, I'm so busy. I travel. There's no way I can train 5 days a week. No way I can train 6 days a week. No way I can spend 2 hours in the gym. So they end up not doing anything at all. Most people I meet, this is the case because they are under the false impression you need to spend endless hours at the gym. Well, if someone is not training at all, just training twice a week for 20 minutes a session to start, they're going to see tremendous benefits, tremendous improvements in performance, in physical health, and in mental health. And then for someone who trains twice a week, 20 minutes, taking this just to 3 times a week, they're also going to see big benefits. So the first tip is just start somewhere. Start with what your current schedule currently allows. The minimum effective dose is twice a week, 20 to 30 minutes a day. There's no one on earth that does not have this time, right? Sometimes, I'm sorry, we use the restroom, it takes us longer. So there's no excuse not to start. I would say start small, start with what's manageable in your current schedule, and then take it from there. Don't overthink, but okay, what about in a year or in 2 years? How am I going to find the time? Just start with what you can do now. Second tip I would give, and that's more maybe like for moms, for executives, like the best way to stick to it, treat it like a business meeting, treat it like a teacher meeting at the school for your kids. Book it in the calendar. Tell you, all right, I'm training twice a week. When is it going to be? Look at your calendar. You have time Monday at 4 p.m., Thursday 2 p.m. Block them in the calendar the same way you block meetings. Do not skip a workout for the first few months, and let it become a habit where you don't skip workouts anymore.
And then how do you keep them motivated on top of that? So, I mean, you get people to come, they start scheduling, and then, you see people kind of drop off here and there. And again, you have that why. their why becomes different and they do start feeling better, but motivation starts to wane after a while. So how do you keep people motivated to continue coming back?
That's a great question, Gabby. And to your point, every single person loses motivation. I am one of the most obsessed people with fitness myself, and most days I do not want to go to the gym. People think that if someone's fit, they love being at the gym. So motivation's there at the beginning. It's hard to stay. There's there's two things I would like to say about this. The first thing is, first of all, we spoke about it at the beginning about the mindset, and I told you, like, I focus a lot on cultivating a mindset of discipline, a mindset of consistency, because at the end of the day, when you want to succeed on something, especially going to transform your health, transform your body, your performance, you can't rely on motivation. Motivation is not here every day. You have to switch your mindset to become a more disciplined person. And by becoming more disciplined is getting the wisdom and getting the habit of doing what needs to be done, regardless if you feel like doing it or not. And someone said it even better. I think Mike Tyson said it. He said that discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. So I try a lot to cultivate this disciplined mindset with my clients. The second thing, we still need, can call it motivation or a why. And this is again what we spoke about. When people come in again with the why of just getting a bigger bicep, once the bicep gets a bit bigger, what's going to keep them going? Or let's say they had to stop for 2 weeks for a medical emergency, they lost a bit of muscle size and they got demotivated again. Their why you do this is not strong enough. So I always take time to set a valid why with my clients. So why do you do this? Does it mean to you to live longer? Do you want to set the right example for your kids? Do you want to be able to shower on your own when you're 80? Do you want your independence? So once they start seeing those benefits, their why they do this shifts. And then when someone struggles, when someone starts slacking, it's much easier to get them back on track when you remind them of their why, and their why is much more than, again, fitting in a dress. So it's setting the right why and it's cultivating a disciplined mindset.
Well, people tend to think that motivation comes first, but it doesn't. So you're not motivating yourself to get started. You have to start to get motivated. So once you start your program, right? Once you start working out, once you start seeing results and once you start feeling better, that's where motivation comes. So it's and that obviously, yeah, you take 2 weeks off because you have a procedure or you get sick or something happens. You have to get started again to find that motivation to bring
Yes,
that back, to come back to your why. Why am I doing this? Why am I consistent with this? But we do it for so many other things. I mean, you have to go back to work. You have to go back to doing things for your family, but you don't have to go back to exercising and go back to your, you know, fitness routine or your wellness routine, but you do and you should. So it's kind of that, that changing that mindset to this is something I have to do to be able to do the other things in my life. So I
exactly.
have to take care of myself to be able to perform my job to the best ability of my ability, to take care of my family to the best of my ability, to be healthy and live better and do all the things that I want to do in my life. So
Absolutely.
it's getting started that creates that motivation. So we kind of have that thought process backwards, which is funny.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're on point on that, because if it was just a question of being motivated, then you won't have any obese person in the world, right? Everybody would be fit if if we were to rely on motivation to show up. But like you said, like, show up first. Don't worry about motivation to show up. Just show up first, worry about motivation later.
Right, exactly. So when it comes to nutrition, how do you incorporate proper nutrition and the mind body mental connection into people's fitness goals?
In terms of nutrition, I mean, it is almost as important as fitness. They go, I mean, hand in hand together. You can't out exercise a bad diet. That being said, I believe in a very balanced approach to nutrition. I don't believe in demonizing a certain type of food. I believe in a whole food diet and a well balanced diet. A good balance of vegetables, of fruits, of good quality grains, like quinoa, like burger, like wild rice, um, good quality lean meats, grass-fed beef, wild-caught salmon, pasture-raised eggs, free-range chicken, uh, and as well some starch like sweet potato, what white potatoes. There's no bad whole foods. I don't think the universe puts just foods out there just to hurt us. It's the abuse of those food that hurt us, and it's the excess that hurts us. So again, when it comes to nutrition, I would say focus on whole. I place a big focus on whole foods, well balanced across macros and micros, and then uh, I forgot my third point. I had the third point I wanted to say about nutrition is yes, is always prioritize protein first. You want to make sure that every meal is centered around protein. If someone trying to lose weight, I would recommend they eat the protein first. And then you can fill your remainder of calories with fats and carbohydrates. But a well-balanced diet, I found is what works best.
Yeah, I found so focusing on, the specifics of it and writing up meal plans for people and having them follow a certain diet, I have found doesn't work, in
Yeah,
my opinion, in my experience, not my opinion, in my experience, working with people for 17, 18 years. I have worked with a lot of people, worked with a lot of people with nutrition programs and written up meal plans and written up, eat this, eat that. They don't stick to it. Um, but what I have found is that when you work with people on how to eat, what to eat, what they're adding into their diet and making people aware of what they're eating creates a whole other level of awareness because I don't think people know what they're eating. We kind of mindlessly eat. We're mindless eaters, kind of zombies.
they don't know what and how much as well. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
and I think and it's not even that necessarily everybody overeats, but we're overeating the wrong things. So we
yeah.
might be under eating protein and a lot of people overeat carbohydrates and not just carbohydrates as in whole grains like rice and
Processed
pasta
things.
and quinoa and but we're eating sugar, cookies,
Yeah,
chips, popcorn, stuff like that, and not getting enough of your avocado and your salmon, your lean meats and beef. You're not eating enough of your proteins and you're eating too much of your carbohydrates and you're not getting in fruits and vegetables. I know myself, I don't eat a ton of fruit, so I have to really force myself and be very conscious of getting fruit into my day. So I have to add it I add it to my breakfast, I add it to my snack in the afternoon because I don't consciously eat fruit. It's not that I don't like it. It's not what I would choose to eat. So,
yeah,
being conscious of those things and knowing what you're eating, I think, and people don't like to food journal, but you should. You
yeah.
should do it
At
at
least at
least
the beginning to understand,
to
right? You
understand.
work so many clients. I'm sure you've seen this. Like even if they eat healthy food, like you'll have clients that are not losing weight, but they come and tell you, I'm only eating healthy foods and a little bit. All right, what did you eat? I ate some raw nuts. That's healthy. How much did you eat? Then you look at how much raw nuts they ate. They ate 700 calories worth of nuts, thinking they're being healthy. But now
Mhm.
they're in the massive calorie surplus. So unless they don't need to be tracking forever, but like you said, I always recommend my clients just track for 2 weeks to a month. It's a one time in your life thing, and but you learn things you think you know, but you know them wrong. You'll understand what calories is, how much a spoon of peanut butter can add calories, how much this is. And because everybody, when they think they eat 2000 calories, they're probably eating 3000, 3500. So journaling helps at first.
Yeah.
And then as well, like you said, like the meal plans, it's I don't think there's anyone who's stuck on a meal plan forever, because I think in fitness has been taken a bit in the industry with all those quick fixes, 6 week programs, 4 week challenges. So people think that that's it, they're going to do this for 4 weeks and then they're said they don't have to worry about it anymore. So they're looking for those quick fixes. So I don't write meal plans. Instead of this, what I started doing recently is nutrition habits. So whoever's working with me on nutrition, I don't give them a plan what to eat, but I have a weekly call with them. I would start by going through all their eating habits, identifying what's priority, and then modifying one habit at a time. I would change this one small habit and then just follow up with them on this one habit. Once it's instilled, once they're doing it subconsciously, all right, let's review where we're at. Let's add a second habit, one habit at a time. But those are habits that you're cultivating for your whole life, because you're not, again, only training 4 weeks. You're not only training 6 weeks. You're training for 20 years, 30, 50, 60. So the way you eat now is the way you want to be eating ideally in 30 years. So it's all about learning those habits and not just following written meal plans.
Absolutely. And you're trying to break people's habits that they've had for 20, 30, 40 years as well. You know,
Yeah, true.
these are habits or a way that people have been eating or living, not exercising or exercising for their entire lives. So, you know, you have to understand that, you know, these are habits or mindsets that people have had their whole life. So you have to slowly try to break or re retrain your brain to do something else, you know, and understanding that everybody's different too. We all have different tastes, we all have different thought processes, we all have different things we hate or don't like or love. And you can't have a one size fits all for any of that, for any type of training, for any type of nutrition plan. And what might work in fitness for one person doesn't work for someone else. And what might work for nutrition would work for one person, but doesn't work for someone else.
Absolutely.
And what works, you know, in both of those things, you know, you have a nutrition plan and a fitness plan for one person, again, might not be the exact same thing for the other person. So
Yeah,
you really,
true.
you still have to, you have to play around with those things and know that everybody's different, and it takes time to work on those processes to get people to their optimal place.
100%. Very well
Yeah.
said.
So your business, Thrive, emphasizes on that functional aspect and that holistic aspect. Um, how do you incorporate all of those things into people's daily lives?
How do you mean? How do I incorporate which aspect of it?
All of it. So how do you get your clients to incorporate, you know, all of the nutrition, all of the fitness, into working it into their daily lives?
So my relationship with my clients doesn't only stop at the gym. So yeah, they come for training, but then I'm in touch with them every day. I think accountability, first of all, plays a big part. So I check in with them daily, how their day went, how they slept the day before. I would randomly check in and ask them what their last meal was. Sometimes I encourage them to share pictures. So first of all, accountability, I think, plays a big factor into sticking to a plan. And then the second thing, whenever they've really improved on something, they really got a bit better, they fixed something, uh, always recognize their efforts. I always applaud them for it. I always motivate them for it. I think this helps a lot. And then the last thing is I created sort of a community. So my gym is a private training gym, so people come only one-on-one. But what I started doing is on Sundays, I bring all my members together at the gym for a workout together. But then each person shares their progress, their problems, what their wins. So just having people, that are in this with you, with the same mindset, the same mentality, encouraging each other, watching each other grow makes it much easier to stick to those habits, on the day to day.
And building that community. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some ways that you help to promote longevity and vitality and overall well-being?
Uh, I mean, it's good exercise, good food, good sleep. Nothing beat these three. When it comes to good exercise, it needs to be a good mix of strength training, cardiovascular training, and then mobility training. You need the strength training to be able to function as a human in your later years, to function well, to have the strength to move, to open a jar when you're 90. You need the cardiovascular health to live long, for heart health, for higher energy levels, for better sleep. And so think of it like cardio to live long, weights to live well, and then mobility to be able to use the strength you acquired for a long time. You don't want to be strong and fit but in pain, but not being able to tie your shoe. So I think they work really well together. And I always integrate all those aspects together in every workout. So I won't do like a bodybuilding only workout or strength only. My workouts typically start with the mobility at first. After the mobility, we go into the the power component first at the of the workout to work the slow twitch muscle fiber. The fast twitch muscle fiber is extremely important to longevity because they are the first fibers to go away. And those are the muscle fibers that we need to catch ourselves from a fall, to change directions. So that could be a big lifesavers when it comes to longevity. So going back to the training, I would start with mobility, move to power, then do a bit of strength work. After the strength work, I will move to some high intensity cardio finisher and then finish the session with static stretching. I believe just keeping all of these together is going to promote well balanced machine or body to live long and live well. Then you'll add to this the nutrition, which is eating at least 80% of the time, eating whole nutritious foods with a big focus on protein. Third thing, having really good sleep habits, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, getting good amount of deep sleep, going to bed same time, waking up at the same time, waking up early preferably, not having a meal before bed, limiting screen time before bed. So just having good sleep hygiene with good nutrition and sports is all you need to live long, to live well, to live happy, and that's it. Now you see a lot of craze online. You see PMF mats for $100,000, biohacking this, biohacking that, and all the people that are biohacking everything and spending hundreds and thousands of dollars are not even doing the basics. They're chasing a cold plunge because an influencer, yeah, it helps, but if you're not exercising and not sleeping, don't worry about going and doing cold plunge or doing sauna, and don't worry about buying a PMF mat. You're better off doing 10 bodyweight squats on your chair in the office than doing all
Yeah.
of that if you're not
It's just
exercising.
another piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. Stick to
Right.
the basics. Those three basics, they've been there for thousands of years. They're still going to be there. The other fads, the trends, they come, they go. Last year, no one knew what the PMF mat is. Now people are raving about it. Next year, everybody's going to forget it. Same with all the other trends. Basics, sleep, nutrition, and
Exercise.
exercise. That's
Yeah.
all.
So we know that you changed your life and this all helped your mental health. Do you have any client success stories that you'd like to share?
I have client success stories, so I'm very open about my situation with myself and my clients. So I think I attracted a few clients that sort of have similar issues. So I work with clients who were previous addicts who are doing much better now, and not from magic, it's just from teaching them to love fitness. I also work with people. I have two clients actually, both of them were on SSRIs, and I've worked with them, and both of them stopped the SSRIs. Their even doctor told them they do not need to be on SSRIs anymore. And I have a recent client who reached out to me through a friend a month ago, and he told me he was prescribed SSRIs. Well, I told him, before you take them, would you come and try working out? And he agreed and started coming a month ago, and he still hasn't touched the SSRIs. He's getting better. So for me, just seeing that it's not something that only worked on me, but is working on people, is just makes me love it more and more, and makes me want to do it on a bigger scale. Because I mean, you don't get more proof than that to the power of fitness and holistic fitness.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story and your business with us today. Is there anything else you'd like to leave, any tips or tricks or words of wisdom that you'd like to leave our listeners with today?
Thank you for your time, Gabby, and a great conversation. So my advice is, do not overcomplicate fitness. When you spend time on social media, it's all people saying this program is good, this is bad, this machine is good, this machine is bad, this food is good, this food is bad. So people are getting a lot of paralysis by analysis. Just remove everything you see on social media from your mind, and just the basics. Move your body. You do not even need the gym. You can go to the park with your kids, run, squat, lunge. jump. There, you can go to the gym. You don't need to do cardio if you hate cardio. You don't need to squat if you hate squats. Fitness is supposed to be accessible and enjoyable as long as you're moving your body in any way you want. And as long as the way you're moving it, you're making it slightly harder every week, you are going to see 80% of the results. So stop worrying about finding the perfect program, the perfect coach, the perfect gym. Just do something for your body. Do it better each time. Do it slightly harder each time. You're going to get all the benefits that someone can get.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree. Just get moving and get started. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Joe, thank you so much. Joe with Thrive Studio Training. If you want more information on him and his business, I will have that information in the show notes. But we really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story today.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, Gabby, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, you as well. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will see you all next time.